Hello, Physics 2 parents. You guys missed back to school night this year, so I wanted to give you the opportunity to be just as bored, but in the comfort of your own home. Okay, so I'm just going to try to answer a lot of questions here, and just talk a little bit about the physics class that your kids are taking. Um, so let's see, what do I do here? I think I do that. There we go. Welcome to IB Physics 2. This is sort of what we just finished doing, right? The question is, what's the electric field here? So this is, by the way, a negative charge. This guy's a positive charge. So the positive charge is creating a field that way at 45 degrees. The negative charge is creating a field this way, straight toward it. And they've got to find these electric fields. They need to find the angle. They need to calculate this and add them up as vectors. And it's tough. This is really tough stuff. And we started the year with it, and so my apologies. Okay, if they're stressed, it's because it's really hard. Okay, you just believe them. The next thing we're doing is circuits, and this is the thing that's going to drive them crazy, right? Is that I teach them like circuit reductions. So this 8 and the 8 is really a 4. Those guys can be reduced to a 9 and a 13. This is a everyday variety 5.318. And now this is almost solvable, right? Now this is a series circuit. We can solve everything about this, okay? And then what they do is they then expand this circuit back into what it is, but after they figure out the voltage across this. And I feel like this is just like such exquisite nautilus for the mind. It's kind of a workout for some obscure part of your brain. And that's why I love physics. I feel like physics really is just problem solving for these kids. That's what they'll take away. Maybe they'll remember the physics. Hopefully they will if they become engineers, right? We do something weird in this class, and I don't know if your kids have complained about this yet, but back in the day I used to sit there and talk. I'd explain the concept, and then I would talk some more because I'd do an example problem. And these would be long. I could spend a half an hour going over a problem out of a 90-minute period, right? And then we would, to get the kids sort of going, we do some problems in class. They do homework, right? Well, who can do homework? Homework is tough. You get home, you're at home. You don't have anyone to ask questions, right? Sometimes I've got, moms and dads that are engineers and they can ask them questions, but that's, not very often, right? And then they take a practice test, they still don't get it, right? Then they take the test, then they retake the test and they still don't get it, right? So what I've done is I've taken these example problems and some of this stuff and stuck it into asynchronous videos. And I'll show you what this looks like, okay? And then in class, we do group work. In class, I can sit down with them one-on-one and explain how to do things, or more likely, they'll ask their friends how to do things. We also do demos. We also do labs in class, okay? So, the normal stuff that you have to do in class. This is our curriculum. We're not doing thermodynamics because IB canceled that, but we started with field theory, right? Which really is in electricity. Currents and circuits, will do magnetism and induction. Atomic and nuclear, including particle physics. Kind of basic, real basic stuff, okay? Particle physics. And then hopefully we'll review, and then they'll be ready for the IB test, right? At the end of the year, you typically do a really short unit on special relativity, okay? Now, they're also going to do an actual physics research project, okay? They need to do an IA project, okay? For obviously the kids that are taking the test, this is an important part of their grade. If your kid's not taking the test, they are taking IB physics, so they still need to do an IA, okay? I like this. This is the course of science, right? My favorite is management directives here, just sort of looping back on itself. Publication cover-up, anyway. I thought that was funny. But, basically it's not just another lab. They need to find just something, how is air friction affected by velocity? It doesn't have to be super complicated, and we'll do some examples of this, okay? And then we sometimes have physics parties. I encourage this, having the kids work together when they study for tests, okay? This is communicating with me. You can leave a voicemail there. This is the website. And then email is probably the very best way if you've got concerns. Let's take a look at this class. Let's go to IB Physics 2. Okay, concept 0, if you go to the information site, the course information site, there's a lot of information there. You can find on the syllabus page. I think the syllabus page is very useful. This has got your calendars, right? So this is the calendar we just finished up. Notice on these calendars, everything is here, okay? You can see that what they need to do. So on a particular day, you can see exactly what they need to do for that day. So for example, on this day here, okay, they needed to do this video flip before the class. And I'll show you what those look like, okay? And we can go back here. We can look at currents and circuits, right? That's kind of fun. Notice for currents and circuits, the very first day, they've got just a whole bunch of video flips, right, that they need to do. Now, you know, these things are posted right now. They've got a couple weeks to do these, so, but there they are. And those things will lock at 8:55 in the morning, the day of that thing, because we're going to do group work on these concepts. If they haven't watched the video, they shouldn't get credit for those video flips. Okay. Now I'll show you what these look like. So let's look at the. And you have to go into modules here. We're done with electrostatics. Okay. Hello. I think I clicked that. There we go. We're done with this, right? Let's imagine that we're here, right? So they're going to do this current here. So let's see what this looks like. Let's preview it. This is what it'll look like to your kids, right? There's directions here. You know, go to the website, watch the video. So this is our website. And it says watch the video 18A. So they're going to watch this video 18A. And it's going to explain things. I'm going to do example problems. This is the normal stuff that I would have done, blah, 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 in class, right? Okay. So they watch this. Here's some example problems. And these are helpful too. Okay. A secret tip here. Those are the questions that I put on the quizzes for the video flips, typically. Okay. So they've watched it. They've taken notes. And now there's a quiz. They need to show me what the current is here. Okay. Well, current is just charge divided by time. So 50.1 divided by 2.53. The answer should be 19.8. Okay. Let's see, the current, oh, whoops. Okay, and then let's see, current is going to be 667.3 divided by 1.78. That's 37.8 seconds. Or 37.8 amps. This is 19.8 seconds, sorry. Okay, let's see. How much charge passes? Well, 3.35 times 16.1. And they'll understand why it's times. Let's see, 53.9. Let's see if we got it right. And they can take these quizzes as many times as they want, over and over and over again. When they retake it, it's going to give them different numbers. How did we do? We got 10 out of 10. That's good. That's good. Woo-hoo. I wrote this. I still feel happy when I get the right answer. So those are video flips, right? Now the question is, you know, how much are those video flips worth? Let's look at that. This is the course policy. This is the course information page. It's very informative. Okay? All of those video flips are 15%. All of the practice problems and stuff we do, 5%. Summative assessments are 45%. Labs are 25%. And these summative assessments and labs, they can retake the summative assessments and they can revise their labs. Okay? And this is an important point because they can get 100% for that, right? And that itself makes up 70% of their grade. They can get 100% on that. They can retake those summative assessments. Now there's a limit to that, okay? The limit to that is the 21-day rule, okay? And so we've decided that for electrostatics and field theory, they're going to finish all the revisions on the labs and all of the retakes on these things by Thursday, November 18th. For currents and circuits, it's Thursday, January 13th. Okay? So for those two items, that's it. So when you go and look at grades and you scroll, somewhere you ought to see a summary of how they're doing on all of these areas, right? You always see labs. You won't see internal assessment yet, but you'll see summative assessment, video flips, formative assessments, right? They should be getting 100% on video flips. They should be getting 100% on their tests. Now, the tests are hard, so, there it is, right? And the only exception to that is that we took a really hard test that's like an IB test, and that'll be just, whatever it is. But I do curve it, so. What else? Anyway, I've showed you the website. This has all the content in there. So if you're helping them and it's been a while since you did a resistivity problem, well, watch that video. That's what I do sometimes. How do I teach this? Oh, that's the way. There's also help on all the labs, and this is getting better and better. So if they have questions on the labs, they can find that. So if they have questions, you say, hey, maybe there's help on the website. Let's take a look. Anyway, thank you for listening. I've already talked way too long. I have already sent out invitations to some parents if your kid's struggling. Okay, I've sent out those invitations, and then pretty soon you're going to get like a blanket invitation to conferences, and they'll be online. You sign up for 15-minute slots, and we're going to meet Google Meets, which actually worked pretty well last year. I think it's better than you standing around in the Commons waiting to talk to me. Okay, I think that's it. Give me a call or send me an email if you have concerns. Happy hunting. See you maybe the end of next week.